Welcome to the Squeeze Podcast. I'm Joe,
And I'm Miranda,
and today we're going to be talking about social media engagement.
and I'm going to tell you why that does not matter.
One of the problems that a lot of marketers and also small business owners face is the problem of social media engagement and how do you actually build up an engaging presence on social media. A lot of times that can become such a big obstacle that they kind of lose sight of some of the things that are maybe more important than engagement. So, Miranda, you said social media engagement is not the most important thing. What is?
Yeah, so it's a really touchy subject for a lot of business owners, especially ones with like high follower counts, lots of likes on their Instagram posts. Business owners just tend to become really fixated on that engagement percentage on their posts. But I like to kind of take a step back with my clients and say, why are you in business? What are you doing? What's the point of owning a small business? It's to make money, right? I mean, it's to make money. It's to have a profit. There's a lot of benefits and perks to being a business owner. You know, you have a lot of autonomy, you have management over your own time, but it also becomes kind of overwhelming when you integrate all of this, marketing responsibility and constant communication to a demographic that's super important now for every small business. And, a lot of people are like, they come to us and they're like, how do I get more followers? How do I get more likes on my posts? Well, honestly, likes and followers don't always translate to new business. They don't always produce leads. And like when we take on an account at Marketing Juice, that's not really what our priority is. When we are reporting to you, sure, we'll report that there is an increase in followers. Sure, we'll report that there is an increase in likes. But if that's not translating to an increase in business for your bottom line as a business owner, then it literally does not matter. Right.
So, and that can sting a little bit because we like to see engagement for sure. It makes us feel good, but that doesn't always translate to conversions, right? So if engagement isn't what really matters, what are some of the factors that do?
So this is actually an exercise that I take a lot of my small business owners through. Many people skip over this step when, launching a marketing strategy or creating their small business. The first step before anybody enters into any marketing campaign or strategy should be determining your KPI. What that stands for is Key Performance Indicator. It's vitally important in assessing the performance of any marketing strategy that you're going to implement. The easiest way to determine these KPIs is to work backwards from your ultimate goal. So as a business owner, is your goal to make $100,000 this year? Okay, reasonable goal, right? Now, large goals can be really difficult to attain. And so what we know as a best practice in goal planning is we create that larger goal, and then we create these benchmark goals that assess how close we are to reaching that ultimate goal. And those benchmark goals are going to be what are essentially your KPIs throughout your marketing strategy. So we want to make $100,000 a year as a small business. What are their product costs in that? What does it cost? Are there employee costs in that? And so are we talking about gross revenue or are we talking about net profit? These are questions that absolutely must be answered in advance of doing any of these strategies. Otherwise, you're just kind of throwing darts at a blank wall. I mean, you really have no idea whether or not your social media content strategy is effective. Is it working? If you don't have a measurable number, that you're going after. So if it's, I need to make 10,000 sales this year to have $100,000 in net profit for my business, how many sales is that per month? How many sales is that per quarter, right? And then how many sales am I getting on smaller benchmark goals? Let's say I test out a Facebook ad for 1 week How many sales did I get from that Facebook ad? And then I can change something on my Facebook ad and test out the sales for the next week and compare and contrast. And now I have a key performance indicator that I needed to hit a certain number of sales in this 1 week's time in order to hit my ultimate goal. And you'll notice that engagement and likes and followers did not even come up at all in that sentence, right? That's not even relevant whatsoever. You can have people viewing your content, clicking on your links, and that will not show up in your engagement percentages, right? So if somebody watched your video all the way through and they didn't buy from you, that engagement means nothing. If at the very best, you have gotten brand recognition, at the very worst, somebody's decided they don't want anything to do with you, right? And so how is that a measurable tool for assessing performance? It's really not.
Right.
So
then what are some of the factors that we're looking for? What are some of the measurable things that, you can base whether a social media ad was effective or not?
So this is going to determine how you end up doing. Well, it's going to be determined by how you end up doing business online, right? So if you're a lead generation business, if you're a service that you're offering, right, and you're looking for leads, contacts to come in through your website or call you to pass off to a sales rep, etc., the amount of those actions is going to be what determines the efficacy of your social strategy. So if you're looking for, a social strategy that produces more leads, I know Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn have on-platform lead generation where you can assess that within a platform. There are also very helpful tracking tools in which you can place codes and pixels on your website that associate any actions coming from that social platform. And that's something that you can either work with your web developer on, or there are very helpful tutorials that walk you through that process yourself if you're doing your own website management.
So kind of going off of that, then what are some tools that our listeners might be able to use to start kind of measuring these important KPIs?
So again, we love Google Analytics for this. It's very simple to use Google Tag Manager and associate Google Analytics with your Tag Manager account to place tracking tags for very specific campaigns. And with Tag Manager, you can actually get pretty granular with the specific action coming from a specific campaign. So if you have multiple ads running on a Facebook platform, you can actually track all the way through. Facebook offers a pixel that tracks Instagram and Facebook ad performance. And the setup of that is incredibly easy. People feel very overwhelmed and they almost close their eyes and plug their ears when I start talking about, coding and tracking code placement and pixels and their eyes crossed, but it actually is a very user-friendly system.
Yeah.
And there are really awesome tools that walk anybody through the process of implementing the pixels or the tags for your website. I will add a caveat that e-commerce tagging and e-commerce tracking is much more complicated. And so I would highly recommend working with a web developer in order to implement robust e-commerce tracking on your website.
Good call. So if you're listening and all of this sounds a little bit over your head, we're here to help. With Marketing Juice, we help a lot of our clients with this very matter. So how might we be able to help somebody who is trying to boost their sales online, or maybe they're worried about engagement? What would you say to them?
Well, I would say outsource what you don't know. I mean, it's a philosophy that I adopted, halfway through my business owner career, and it's been incredibly helpful, and it's made me a lot more efficient at running my business, right? I'm very good at marketing, but I'm not very good at HR. And so as a business owner, it's okay to give this to somebody else. It's okay to hire an on-staff marketer. It's okay to delegate this stuff because it does become a full-time job. It's a waste of your money and your time if you are marketing and advertising online and you have not done your due diligence to put together your KPIs and put together these tracking platforms and make sure that what you're doing is having an impact on your business's bottom line. And I can't tell you how often we have businesses come to us after spending $20,000, $30,000 a year in advertising, and when we ask them, well, how much business did that get you? They do not know.
Yeah.
They do not know. And that's like a super important criteria when you are looking to outsource marketing, when you're looking to outsource advertising. Is this business going to track the performance? Do they have real data that's going to tell you, exactly how much is coming from their efforts? That's incredibly important. And here at Marketing Juice, it's something that we prioritize. So if you're looking for that level of support, we are happy to talk to you. We offer free consultations, and we can absolutely give you some more free resources if that's what you're looking for.